All right, let's dive right into this explainer, and we're going to kick things off with a reality check. And honestly, it might be a little uncomfortable to hear for some of us. We're looking at the 2026 playbook for AI in finance, and wow, the landscape has completely shifted. The finance pros who are advancing the fastest right now, they aren't necessarily the ones with the deepest traditional technical knowledge. Nope, they are the ones who know exactly which AI tools to use and precisely how to apply them to their everyday workflows.
Just look at what's at stake here. A massive 2026 Gartner study recently dropped, and it found that CFOs deploying AI across their finance functions are seeing their reporting cycle speed up by 25 to 40%. Let that sink in. 25 to 40%. That's not just some marginal little tweak. That's literally the difference between your finance team acting as a strategic, forward-looking powerhouse versus a team that's just hopelessly bogged down, spending 3 stressful days manually closing the books. Unadapted teams are falling dangerously behind.
So to keep you off the sidelines, here is today's playbook. We're going to cover 4 things. 1, 5 essential AI tools. 2, career advancement strategies. 3, the rules of compliance. And 4, your action plan. Let's jump straight into section 1, 5 essential AI tools. First up on the list is Microsoft Copilot for Excel. This is an absolute game changer, mostly because it's built right into the standard Microsoft 365 setup you're probably already using. Instead of wrestling with super complex syntax, you just type what you want in plain English. Boom! Copilot instantly generates formulas, builds pivot tables, and puts together budget versus actual variance dashboards in literally minutes instead of hours. Finance professionals are actually reporting that this single tool saves them 2 to 4 hours a week. How? By completely eliminating the absolute biggest time drain in FP&A work, writing and debugging formulas. Now, I highly recommend you screenshot the exact prompt you're seeing right now. It's a lifesaver. It says, analyze this P&L data and write a 150-word executive commentary explaining the 3 most significant variances versus budget. Use professional CFO report language. Seriously, if you drop that into Copilot, you instantly get a perfectly drafted variance commentary. It completely wipes out that dreaded blank page syndrome that eats up so much time during the month-end close.
Next on our radar is DataSnipper. If you work in audit, whether that's internal or external, this is a massive asset. It's essentially an AI agent built specifically for audit evidence extraction, and the Big 4 accounting firms are already using it heavily. It automatically pulls data from PDFs, invoices, and bank statements and links it directly right back into your Excel workbook. Published case studies show this is cutting evidence management time by 60 to 70% on complex engagements. It basically kills that mind-numbing manual tick and tie work that consumes so many junior audit hours.
Moving on, we have your daily analytical partners, Claude and ChatGPT. These are your go-to large language models for pretty much everything, from summarizing SEC filings to explaining weird complex accounting standards. But here is a super fascinating data point for you. In an independent 2026 Wall Street prep test evaluating AI tools for financial modeling, Claude actually ranked 2nd overall, sitting only behind a highly specialized tool called Shortcut. That means Claude significantly outperformed ChatGPT in Copilot on 3-statement model tasks. Pretty wild, right? But the absolutely crucial point here is knowing how to talk to these tools to get those top-tier results. Try dropping this specific contract review prompt into Claude. Here is a supplier contract. Identify all payment terms, penalty clauses, and automatic renewal provisions. Summarize them in a table format. You can use this to instantly summarize dense 200-page SEC filings or those brutal supplier agreements without missing any crucial penalty clauses. It is literally like having a junior analyst sitting right next to you, reading at superhuman speed. Okay, our 4th tool is Power BI with Copilot. This integration is amazing because it allows you to just describe the report you need in plain English, and it automatically builds the whole thing. That includes all the complex DAX measures, that underlying formula language of Power BI, plus natural language narrative summaries that explain what changed and why it actually matters. Monthly reporting packages that used to take 3 days can now be cranked out in just a few hours. And pay close attention to this. Power BI is now listed as a required skill in 34% of senior finance job postings this year. It's basically becoming non-negotiable. Finally, rounding out our top 5, we have MindBridge AI Auditor. Look, traditional auditing relies heavily on sampling, right? Which means, inevitably, you're going to miss things. Well, MindBridge analyzes 100% of your general ledger transactions, every single one. It flags unusual posting behaviors and risk patterns that sampling fundamentally just cannot catch.
In one really famous published case study, it surfaced $85 million in missed postings that traditional methods had completely missed across multiple audit cycles. For controllers and auditors out there, this fundamentally changes the game for what risk coverage is actually possible.
All right, let's pivot to Section 2, Career Advancement Strategies.
Because here's the harsh truth. Just knowing these tools exist, that won't get you promoted. Research consistently shows that professionals who proactively figure out these AI tools, document the workflows, and champion them for their team are 3 to 5 times more likely to reach director or CFO roles within 24 months compared to folks who just kind of use the tools individually in the background. You want to be the person who spots a repetitive process, builds a solid, tested AI workflow for it, and hands it to management as a clean, one-page process doc. That is a genuine contribution that will absolutely get you noticed. And when you're building those workflows, keep in mind that the difference between generic prompting and finance-specific prompting is basically night and day. Generic prompts, they give you generic, unusable fluff. You really must master prompt engineering. That means giving the AI full context, exact word counts, and honestly, most importantly, telling it what not to include. Tell it to avoid jargon. Tell it not to speculate beyond the data you provided. Setting those exact, rigid constraints is what produces highly usable, CFO-ready outputs that you don't have to spend hours rewriting yourself. Next strategy, get certified. Earning a practical certification like the CFI AI for Finance Specialization, which is great for daily practitioners, or the CFTE AI in Finance Specialization for senior leaders is a massive differentiator right now. When you pair these specialized finance-first AI certifications right alongside your traditional CPA or CMA credentials, you are currently commanding a 15 to 20% salary premium in the 2026 market. That is a serious bump. Now, I want to be clear, you don't need a computer science degree to succeed here, but you absolutely must build data fluency. You see, AI tools produce dramatically better outputs when the input data is well-structured. That means you need to learn how to clean your data formatting, like making sure you have clean column headers and no weird merged cells, and master tools like Power Query to transform and consolidate your data automatically. Building that baseline data fluency is an absolute must before you feed your information into any AI tool.
Moving right along to Section 3, the Rules of Compliance. Let me be incredibly direct here because making a mistake with financial AI isn't just a simple oops moment. It can trigger severe professional and legal consequences. So, here are the hard rules. Step 1. You must never paste client names, personal financial data, or bank details into a public tool like the free tiers of ChatGPT or Claude. Just don't do it. Step 2. Never bypass a qualified professional's review for compliance filings, tax advice, or audit sign-offs. AI makes errors, and finance errors have real consequences. And Step 3. Never trust an AI-generated figure without verifying the source data. AI can spit out incredibly plausible-sounding numbers that are just entirely fabricated. The golden rule? Use AI for drafting and first-pass analysis, but always, always verify.
All right, let's bring it all together in Section 4, your action plan. Now that you've got your weapons and your rules of engagement, we've laid out a 72-hour playbook for you. This will help you methodically integrate these tools into your actual daily reporting cycles, so you don't just watch this explainer and then go right back to business as usual. On day 1, crack open Claude or ChatGPT and test out that variance commentary prompt we looked at earlier using real data from your last reporting cycle. On day 2, if you're on Microsoft 365, fire up Copilot to write a complex Excel formula that you use all the time. On day 3, reach out and request a demo for DataSnipper or MindBridge. And finally, before the month is over, commit to enrolling in one of those official AI certifications.
Listen, the finance professionals who are going to look back on 2026 as the year their careers just skyrocketed, they're the ones starting this week, not next quarter. So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. AI won't replace finance professionals, but a finance professional using AI, they will absolutely replace one who isn't. Which side of that equation are you going to be on? Make sure you hit subscribe for more insights from this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.